scarcity has returned to major cities in Nigeria, including Lagos and Abuja, with long queues forming at filling stations. Now, the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, NNPCL, has denied owing oil traders a $6.8 billion fuel subsidy debt, which some believe is contributing to the supply challenges. But despite this, NNPCL blames the scarcity on evacuation challenges at ports, promising to resolve the issue by midweek. Now, the fuel scarcity has led to skyrocketing prices, with some stations selling for as high as 1,000 naira per litre. This has caused transportation costs to rise, affecting daily life of Nigerians. And operators say that the supply situation at depots has yet to improve, casting doubt on NNPC's promise to resolve the issue quickly. The company has also denied claims of not remitting funds into the Federation account since January, further complicating the situation. But overall, Nigeria's fuel crisis is causing widespread disruption and hardship. Now, joining me on the conversation to discuss more on this, we have Dr. Billy Gilis-Harry, National President, PETROAN, that's Petroleum Products Retail Outlets Owners Association of Nigeria. And we also have joining us virtually Dr. Joseph Obele, energy expert, former chairman of IPMAN Rivers State. Good evening, gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, good evening. Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure. All right, so let's begin with Dr. Billy Gilis-Harry. Now, fuel scarcity has returned to major cities like Lagos and Abuja, as we all know, and these long queues, is affecting most of the products in filling stations. Now, can you tell us or describe to us the current state of fuel scarcity in Nigeria and how it differs from, the previous scarcity, and how does it also affect the country?
Well, first of all, I sympathize with all of us as Nigerians in this very dire situation, that there is queues all over the country is simply resulting from what NNPC's explanation has been. And there is a supply challenge, which was occasioned by logistics challenges. And we verily believe them from PETROAN, and we hope that they can resolve as fast as possible.
All right, now let's pass the question to Dr. Obele. Dr. Obele, please go ahead and share with us what your... All right, I'm told that we just lost Dr. Obele. Now, still on you, Dr. Gilis-Harry. Now, the scarcity has actually led to increased transportation costs, and the current price of fuel is up to 1,000 naira per litre. Not long ago, towards the end of July, we were buying at 1,300 naira as well. That was shortly before the End Bad Governance protests. Now, how do you think that these fluctuations would affect or has affected vulnerable populations such as low-income households?
Well, it's affecting everybody, not just low-income earners. It's affecting everybody terribly. And from our perspective, what we can always do, and our covenant with Nigerians, is that we will sell unadulterated products. We will sell exactly the quantity of what we say our pumps are selling, and we will not hoard products. And this is what we continue to do. But retail outlet owners can only be giving services to Nigerians when we are provisioned with petrol or other refined products from NNPC. So we do sympathize with everyone. It's not just only low-income earners. Even the high and mighty are still suffering the issue. You go to the fuel stations and you see quite long queues. Black marketers are taking advantage of that. We have called on the security and NMDPRA to swing into action and take very drastic action against that. And I think NMDPRA has come out strong on that, and they're working. And so we encourage them to do that so we can be able to get more equipment.
All right, now, Dr. Obele, over to you. Now, you heard everything that Dr. Gilis-Harry has actually said, talking about some of the challenges that petrol owners are actually facing, and also the fact that some black marketers have actually taken over. Now, let's hear your thoughts on this.
Okay, let me start by greeting my boss, Dr. Billy-Harry. He's our boss in the oil and gas sector. We have so much respect for him, and we pray he grows higher in the industry. Basically, what we have right now is not an issue that we should describe as a standard factor. Basically, it's inorganic, and it can be described as internal factors. What man ordinarily ought to have done and he failed to do. That's what we are suffering right now. And in the economics, it's called PED, that is price elasticity of demand. So what we are seeing right now is the responsiveness of price to demand. The quantity demanded by marketers nationwide, NNPC management are unable to supply and to meet up. Hence, we have a price fluctuation. Here in Port Harcourt, people are buying between 800 to 1,300 naira per litre. It's quite unfortunate. And arising from the worrisome inflation of Nigeria is terrible on people that petroleum price at outrageous cost will bring untold hardship upon our people. I think it's quite unfortunate and sympathize with Nigerians. So the issue in the press regarding numerous vessels and quantities on the high sea and the rest, we, the marketers, we cannot really ascertain or rely on what we are hearing in the press to say a word to it that it could be that vessels are on the way. Or indicator to ascertain when products will be available in Nigeria. Ordinary could be when our portal is open. We have a buying portal in NNPC called NNPC Retail Portal. And for about 5 weeks now, the portal has been shut down and no marketer is able to buy on the portal. Hence, the scarcity we have. Our buying rate as marketers is about 566 naira per litre. And if marketers are getting this product at that rate, invariably marketers also should be selling to Nigerians within 600 naira per litre. So the products are available, but are not available to marketers on the platform, but are available as a third source or the middleman. The marketers are not buying from a third source, and hence the fluctuations and the hike in price we see in the city.
Okay. Now, you talked about the issue being inorganic and not due to external factors, saying that the products are available but not available to marketers. I would love to hear Dr. Gilis-Harry's thoughts on that as well. But then also, would also love to hear from you, Dr. Gilis-Harry. What is the fuel scarcity, the impact of this scarcity on the country's inflation rate and the overall economy? Because we've heard word that, it will definitely, or it is affecting the economy as it is, because there's so many people who are in need of this product who do not have access to it. It's affecting jobs, it's affecting a lot of things, and making the economy redundant somehow.
Well, PMS consumption clearly is a major input in our economic output. In Nigeria, we depend on, I pass my neighbor, I have different kinds of generators that we use, for our everyday business. So the fact that PMS is not available now is clearly going to impact negatively on the economy of Nigeria. And this is why we consistently advise, that NNPC should take a stakeholder approach where we should all be able to utilize empirical evidence and data to, compute what can likely happen in the event of any situation and be able to mitigate it immediately. That it's everybody suffering, like I said earlier, is not in doubt, and we just hope that we can be able to tide this era and see how we can end it consistently. But Dr. Obele, I want to appreciate you good to see you. You're aspiring with your father today, so that's very good. And I want to let us know, that these times will not last too long. Because as retail outlet owners, we're also looking out of the box and trying to provide certain solutions that will be able to help this situation. Because our in-country refining capacity has not been activated fully, and we are dependent on imports that's coming just only from NNPC. So if we, as marketers and the retail outlet owners, can combine and get answers to some of these supply challenges, I believe that we will do much better.
All right, now still on you, Dr. Gilis-Harry. Now, you said that you're depending on the NNPCL for products, and the NNPCL has promised to resolve the issue by midweek, so we're expecting Wednesday, Thursday. Now, are there emergency measures that they can take to end this particular issue by then? Because some people have actually said, or some quarters have actually said, it's impossible for them to get it sorted, in such a short time.
Well, NNPCL has their business model, and they're a profit-making company. So obviously there will be methods by which the internal management mechanism is giving them the courage and the hope that this can be resolved midweek. Midweek is just only 48 hours from now or thereabout. We hope that they will walk the talk, and we encourage them to do so, because consistently this is becoming a kind of a disgrace for our country. But having said that, I also want to profile some solutions that the NNPCL can engage in very strategic intervention product allocations that will help all marketers, all retail outlet owners, major depot, independent marketers, PETROAN, Nogasa, even the PENG that is requiring the diesel to run their services. We can all be able to, come together and then do some kind of interventionist program to, mitigate this situation and reduce it to the barest minimum until we get our acts right and be sure that there is enough a refined product in the country that can service all the thousands and thousands of retail outlets that litter the country.
Okay. Now, over to you, Dr. Obele. Now, Dr. Gilis-Harry said that the recurrent scarcity is becoming a disgrace to the country. Now, still talking about, the NNPC promising to resolve the issue by midweek. Are there emergency measures that can be taken to end or put an end to the current scarcity? Especially when it comes to supply chain challenges and also when it comes to logistics.
In one of my articles, I was able to put to us that the oil and gas supply chain network is in three categories: the tertiary, the secondary, and the primary channel of the network of distribution. So the question we should be asking now is, of these three channel network of the Nigeria oil and gas distribution, where are we having the hiccups or the issues right now? And I'll put to you that the hiccups and the issues right now is coming from the tertiary angle. The tertiary angle, if you
Hello, Dr. Obele. All right, we seem to be having a network issue with Dr. Obele. Now let's come back to you, Dr. Gilis-Harry. You did say, or you did mention, that NNPCL is the sole importer of petrol in Nigeria. Now, what more do you think that they can actually do to regulate the fuel supply chain and also prevent the scarcity, especially for retail owners?
Well, I think what we really need to focus on is what is our emergency response management, plan. could there be a possibility that there should be availability of, say, about 60 to 100 million liters worth of PMS held in safe storage for Nigerians, just to be able to be, to act as a stopgap, for these kind of challenges. And then also, retail outlet owners could also play a very critical role in that, in which case we could also work out a rule with the NMDPRO and also NNPC to be able to store products which will not be misconstrued as hoarding for the purposes of also serving this kind of situation. So I think it will be the only solution that we can have here is an interventionist one, where whatever NNPC has, they can bring it out in due time and then be able to distribute efficiently and effectively to retail outlet owners, who can then escalate and expand the delivery process into all the nooks and crannies of the country. This will be one way to solve it.
Okay. So, but what about, its effect on the aviation sector? We actually heard that, I read somewhere that it actually has an impact. This particular scarcity has impacted the aviation sector as well, and not just the road haulage. What is the implication of this?
The aviation sector also still use PMS to do their basic logistics services, in addition to the aviation cargo that they buy. Some time ago, we were told that they were already purchasing that from Dangote Refinery. And that's why we are very proud of that very, very stellar industry. I mean, a refinery that should make Nigeria and Africa proud. And we encourage that all issues surrounding the supply of crude oil to Dangote Refinery should be expedited. I mean, should be handled very expeditiously, and crude oil should be made available for Dangote Refinery and not the other 3 or 4 refineries that are in Nigeria. Port Harcourt, of which we know has gone advanced stage. Warri too, we're aware that has also gone very far to be able to, be activated. So the reality is that this scarcity will affect every and anyone. And that's why earlier I said it's not only the low-income earners that it's going to affect. It's going to affect the high and mighty. It's going to affect medical. It's going to affect you journalists. It's going to affect even us, who are the retail outlet owners. We also suffer in the same season and the same like manner.
Okay. Now, the NNPC, that's NNPCL, has denied owing $6.8 billion to oil traders. We would love to hear from you if this is the truth, or it's just some made-up story that NNPCL is actually owing $6.8 billion to oil traders.
Well, what we request as an association that has very high public interest and patriotic in all our activities is that NNPC should improve their communication with Nigerians and all of Nigerians, especially us, the stakeholders, that are taking from them for our various businesses. The fact is that NNPC has come out to say they are not owing anybody. There is no way we can verify that, because that's their internal business reporting and management system. So they will know who they owe and who they don't owe. So if they've come out to say we are not owing, then we should believe them. But if those who are also saying that they owe them, that debt is what is causing this kind of problem, they should show evidence to the public so that we can know exactly where we are. Because after all, NNPC is a public service organization that's actually being owned by all Nigerians. And whoever that is managing is only holding in proxy for all of us as Nigerians. So we need to know exactly what's going on. So my advice is NNPC should improve their communication, scope, and consistently make sure that all Nigerians know what is going on. So that way we can stand behind our company. It's our company, for crying out loud. So we need to protect it.
It's indeed a good thing that you said they should step up their communication, because it's actually quite believable, because let's not forget that, they're actually trying to borrow $2 billion from banks using the future oil production as collateral. And we all know that this is because NNPCL is struggling to stay afloat. Now, you said you're not sure if they are owing, but since they've come out to say that they're not owing, then they are not owing. But in case they are actually owing, will the denial exacerbate the supply challenges that has been faced right now?
Well, the denial clearly tells us that they are not owing and that that's not impacting on the reason why we do not have efficient supply. So it's a supply glitch that's already in tow because we have been told that there is a logistics challenge and the ship-to-ship transfer. There is no way we can go and verify that. We're only just retail outlet owners that are working just right here. So they have much better information on how to deal with that with the public. And that's why we encourage a very robust communication channel that is consistent and very, transparent so that we can protect and defend our company and those who are saddled with the responsibility to manage it for us.
Okay. All right. Now, I'm being told that Dr. Obele has actually joined us. Let's hear from you as regards the last question about NNPC owing $6.8 billion.
Where that during the regime of PEF, there is a Petroleum Equalization Fund. As at that moment, the transporters and the marketers that were operating PEF then, a lot of them trapped payment with the, not really NNPC per se, maybe the channels or the quarter the marketers forwarded that complaint, they got it wrong. I'm aware that PEF, the defunct PEF, are still owing marketers. I'm aware of that. But for NNPC, I cannot really ascertain that very far. But I'm aware that during the PEF operation, Petroleum Equalization Fund, some funds are still trapped yet to be paid to marketers. I'm aware of that on good authority. But like I mentioned before, the recent issues we have in Nigeria concerning distribution has so much to be done regarding the tension of Russia and Ukraine and also Israel and Gaza and on the high sea there and the Atlantic Ocean. A lot of things are happening. It has affected the landing cost of PMS. As at yesterday, I was told by an importer that landing cost was close to 1,300 naira per litre, and the federal government insisting that subsidy has been removed and selling it less than 700 to 800 naira. This implies that the government of Nigeria is paying approximately 400 to 500 naira a litre of PMS consumed by each citizen of Nigeria. And this has constituted a heavy burden on the federal government and is becoming unbearable. It's actually becoming unbearable for government to pay further. And I think they don't know how to put it or package all of this to Nigerians. But the issue that has caused this supply gap we are experiencing right now is just basically for the fact that the continual payment of subsidy by the federal government is becoming unbearable to them. That's just the issue. And I'm not really comfortable.
So this is the same subsidy that we're told has been removed?
Glory could be the Dangote refinery. I'm not really comfortable.
Dr. Obele, can you hear me?
What?
This is the same subsidy that we're told that has been removed.
Subsidy has been removed was a statement of Mr. President on the 29th of May last year during his inaugural speech. He said the subsidy is gone. And he recalled that as the president of the nation, his word should be his bond, and the leadership of the management of NNPC, they want to uphold the bond, the word of Mr. President, insisting that subsidy is gone. But we, the stakeholders of the sector, are putting to you on good authority that as at yesterday, landing cost was close to 1,300 naira per litre. And recall that NNPC is now fully a limited liability company, and an entity is no longer, and they're operating basically for profiteering. So it's not like the government commercial entity it was years back. So it's not a charitable organization. So they can't be buying fuel close 1,003 and be selling to the general public less than 700 naira. On good authority, NNPC is paying close, but the GND of NNPC described it as recovery, or you call it the bill of fuel importation. In acronym or in disguise, what he was calling was actually subsidy. Nigerians are still paying subsidy till tomorrow.
Wow. And despite that, the amount it costs to actually buy fuel is higher than ever before. Let's hear from you, Dr. Gilis-Harry. He did say that, he looked at the amount of fuel that Nigerians actually consume daily. Let's link that to the fact that Nigeria's refineries have limited capacity, which has led to a reliance on imports, right? Now, I've heard both of you say that, talk about Dangote refinery, and it seems like we're dependent solely on Dangote refinery to come to our aid. But how can Nigeria increase its refinery capacity to meet these domestic demands and also reduce the reliance, on imports?
Well, first, I don't think Nigeria should depend only on Dangote refinery. Our in-country refining capacity to be efficient. We should encourage the president, who is also doubling as the Minister of Petroleum, and his entire team to work round the clock and give us Port Harcourt refinery to be activated, Warri refinery to be activated, at least minimum. We have modular refineries that are working to produce naphtha and AGO and Kero, and I believe that if crude oil is made available to them, which we think that this is our domestic consumption, so it should not be regulated, by any kind of organization. So we should be able to, have a way to think about how to improve our in-country production of crude oil, so that the refineries will be able to have crude oil to refine, thereby making products available, and then we'll be less dependent on that. But Dangote refinery is a 650,000 barrels per day refinery. It is humongous, it is large, and we do pray and encourage the government also to ensure that that refinery works. Because even if it's working at 50% capacity, that means we'll have enough product that should be able to serve us. Well, I don't recall saying that there is a figure that I can depend on the size of PMS that's consumed daily in Nigeria. I have always refused to answer those questions because the figures change from every different sectors, every different regulation, every different reporting. So we need to find a way to make that work. And that is why PETROAN, in our patriotic zeal, designed a local technology called Petroleum Product Passport that would have assisted in trying to track what our daily consumption, true daily consumption should be.
All right. Just briefly, just before we go, I let you go, Dr. Obele. How do you think, just in 30 seconds, please, how do you think we can leverage alternative energy sources like solar and CNG gas, and how do you think it will actually help mitigate the impact of the consistent fuel scarcity?
Yeah, and with the aggressive research on the green energy and the source of energy, I would say the next 10, 15 years, the Nigerian crude oil will have zero market, and it will be a disaster for Nigeria waiting for explosion. So the best time for Nigeria to plan otherwise, as it concerns alternative energy or green energy, is now. So a lot of people are getting energy from the wind, from the ocean, and from the earth and the US, or from solar, but Nigeria will solely rely on crude oil. And this is quite unfortunate. It's quite unfortunate. So, and I put to you on good authority, the next thing is the Nigerian crude oil arising from aggressive research will have no market. So we call on the federal government to think outside the box to alleviate the poverty and the total dependence or reliance on crude oil. For Nigerian crude oil, will have no market in the next 10, 15 years.
All right, we do hope so. Thank you so much. Dr. Billy Gilis-Harry, National President, PETROAN, and also Dr. Joseph Obele, energy expert and former chairman of IPMAN, Rivers State, for joining us on the conversation this evening.
Thank you for having me. Thank you, my daddy and my boss, too, being out here with you.